Let's manifest marriage by creating the most beautiful ideal story. In this video, we're going to talk about who you are now as this married person, who your partner is, and I want you to describe your life together. Hi there, I'm Adila, your expert in all things manifestation. If you're new here, I'm a manifestation coach helping you create your ideal lifestyle by telling your ideal story. My motto is if I can help at least one person, I have done my job. If you'd like for me to help you create your story that's tailored to your specific desires, head over to my website, thisisyourstory.co, where I offer email coaching and free ebooks to help get you started. So let's begin with your love story. I like to take one of my journals. This is my first workbook, and I will take just the top of the page and write out my love story. And remember, we're taking our ideal love stories, we're creating those essentially from scratch, but we're not talking about like all the pain and suffering that we've went through before in our life or in romantic relationships. We are describing and revising our love story to be this like beautiful love story from beginning to end. So my love story, I like to look at it as who you are now as the person who's married, right? Because it's very different from the person who's single. With this part, I want you to brainstorm like what that looks like for you, because the single version of you is different than the married version of you. More than likely you're living together and you're sharing the same bed, you're having meals together, possibly cooking together, ordering out together. So it's another partner who is there and present through all walks of your life. And sometimes I get this question like about, I don't really know what marriage would feel like or how I would be married if I've never been married before. But you don't have to be married to know what your marriage will look like, because you're creating it from the ideas of marriage that you've trumped up. Because if you look at it, you have a desire to be married and it comes from somewhere. So you want to take a step back and look at like, why do you want to be married? And then you can fill in that story. So if you ask yourself, why do you want to be married? Just to get ideas, it'll fill in like these ideas that you have of what a marriage is like the reasons that you would desire the marriage. You have a partner who's supportive, who's loving, who you can talk about your day with, things like that. You have someone who can you can go out on dates with, or go to the movies with, or go on trips with. So there's some idea, even if you haven't been married, you have an idea of what a marriage entails. Another way I like for um, well, to help people explore uh, them seeing themselves as married now is by using the I remember when technique, right? If you take your single self and if those experiences feel more like prevalent, you can start writing down, I remember when I was single, and like list all of the things that match like you being single. But now, and you emphasize the but now I'm married. And the things that you wrote down as a single person will be totally different than the things that you wrote down as a married person. So, for instance, if you're married and you're leaving work, you're likely coming home to your person, or your person is coming home to you, unless you're like a stay-at-home person or um, you don't have a career or whatnot. But you're is different versus like a single person who's working, who's coming home and they don't have a partner. So like your dinner would look different than a married person who's coming home to a partner. So play around with those ideas, like you as a married person. How are you waking up in the morning? Are you guys sharing space? Do you have your own bathrooms? What about like um Do you have breakfast together? Do you go your separate ways? Do you shop for each other? Do you shop for dinner? How is it shopping for dinner as a single person versus a married person, or a married person with a family with more children? It's all different. Additionally, there's a certain way that a happily married person carries themselves. So I want you to imagine, how confident you feel as a married person, who is married to someone who is just an incredible person. They treat you very well. They cater to you. I say that a lot, but it's really like a part of, in my opinion, like a really like sweet relationship, a sweet exchange. But they cater to you. Like my dad always brings my mom food. She's on her computer doing who knows what all the time, and he's always walking in with, a meal for her. Always. So like to me that's like catering, and it's thoughtful. So in what ways do they show up for you, and in thoughtful and make kind gestures to the point where it makes you feel good? If somebody's always like taking care of you in that way and showing up for you in that way and making you feel like you're important, you're going to carry a certain level of confidence because you'll feel very loved. You'll feel adored. So that brings me to your person. So your person, and stay with me on this one. I have not introduced this idea before, but your person, we want to look at our person, if you're manifesting marriage, as a blank slate. And this does not matter if you've known this person for 10 years and they've acted like X, Y, and Z towards you or whatnot. There is another version of them that can show up for you in the way that you decide, really, in the way that you desire. So remember, we are creating our stories from a blank slate, a blank piece of paper, and we're conjuring up ideas um, based on what our preferences are. So your person is a blank slate, no matter if you have just met or you're creating them and then they come into your life. So they are a blank slate. So I like to use this as an example, and it's it's called grow a boyfriend. But I got this like years ago, like 5 years ago, and I've never like I bought it for this purpose, but it's to me, this is a blank slate, right? You just have like a blank character in your story, and this is going to represent your romantic partner. It doesn't matter that it says boyfriend, it could be for partner, wife. It doesn't matter, but you have to I think it's that most helpful to start to see yourself, to see your partner as a blank slate, like nothingness, like no personality, and you're creating it all. Okay. And this means you have the opportunity to choose how they look, how they talk, how they dress, how they take care of themselves, who they are as a person, how they treat other people, what they come with. Like, do they have children? Are they single? Like anything that you decide that you want in your person, they're a blank slate, a blank slate. So, for the purpose of the story, if I was manifesting marriage, I would say, um, my God, I met the most amazing person today, and he just swept me off of my feet. It just caught me by surprise, and then I'd start describing how he looks, how his personality is, and how I'm just smitten by him. And this is just to help you get this idea of describing your ideal person. Um, you can you can list out the personality traits that you want them to have. You can list out how they treat you. You can talk about how they were trying to impress you so much. And yeah, just like really get into like who this person is and how they're showing up the first time you met. And I'm talking to people also who have a person in mind. So let's say that you have a person who you've been dealing with, may not have a committed relationship with or whatnot, but you see them as your husband. You know that they can be a good husband to you as long as you like tweak it and, create them in this way. I want you to still see them as a blank slate, right? And think about this. Like, how many people have you encountered or even seen in movies that you thought were just non-committal? They will never get married. They'll never, not be a playboy. They like to just chase women or whatnot, and you can't like tie them down or anything like that. It doesn't really matter if that is the version of them that's currently showing up or that you currently experience. The key is to drop that story about them and then create them in a different way, because everyone can shift into their ideal version, into your ideal version, as long as you start seeing them as that ideal version. And like, look at how many people like get married and beforehand they were like players. It could be men, women, it doesn't really matter. And you know it's like once they take those vows, I know that there are situations where people take vows and they're still non-committal, but I'm talking about people who take vows and like you see them and they seem like a totally different person. That's what you are creating. You are creating this shift in this person that doesn't even resonate with the person that they were before. Before the vows, that person does not even exist. From playboy to family man to having family values and to, treating his wife like a queen. That can happen if you create that story and you stick with that story and you see your person or that person as that person for you, they will shift into that reality. So, the third area that I would like you to focus on is describing your life together. So, you have you as this married person, your partner as this married, doting, loving partner, and what is your life like together? And I created a journal called A Day in My Life, that's a digital download that goes through examples of how you can experience your day. Like, I like to break it up into sections. Like, how are you waking up in the morning? What do you do in the afternoon now that you are married? What do you do in the evening? And let me give you an example. As a happily married person, I wake up in the morning whenever I feel like it because everything's already taken care of. I have children and we have children together, and he loves to wake up and take care of the children and cook breakfast and play and have dad time with them while keeping the house quiet so mommy can sleep. So I wake up and I look over, and on my nightstand are fresh flowers. On my nightstand is my journal because I love to journal daily. On my nightstand is my favorite morning drink because my husband loves to cater to me. So what about you? You guys, you may not have children, or you may, want children in the far future or maybe never. But what are you doing with as a married couple? You might wake up and go work out together. You might wake up and, go to your favorite restaurant, or you might like to lay in the bed and sleep for hours, or, be intimate. Like, what is that like for you? You want to take these ideas of like your perfect day and write them out and say that this is what we do now. This is what my day is like. Let's take the afternoon. Are you spending your day together? Are you going separate? So here are two examples. One would be like, my husband and I, we went and had brunch at a new restaurant, and it quickly became our favorite. And we decided to go to the farmers market. We found so many things. I love the farmers market because the stuff there is just so like, anyways. But this is just me, right? We went to the farmers market. We got we got some things for dinner, and we also discovered this. Like, we got this new company that we start going to now, and we had a great conversation while we were there, and now we're gonna start, buying their things online, like whatever the story is. But so that's one way to spend your afternoon, or you can go separate. Like, you and your husband, like, he went off to do X, Y, and Z. I went off to have brunch with the girls, and we had such a great time. I love spending time with them, and all of us are married now, so all we do is talk about how happy we are in marriage, like whatever. And the evening, I like to cover everything in your story. So the evening, how are you spending your evenings? So one example would be like, we have family time, or yeah, I like, okay, so let's give the idea of family time. So I like an idea of us having like movie night. And I used to think like, okay, we have movie nights occasionally, but you can have a movie night any night of the day, right? You're creating your ideal story. So we have family movie night every night, and one person in the family gets to pick, out of all the new movies, new and old. Um, and that's the movie that we watch. We have popcorn, we have everybody's favorite foods, and we sit around and we enjoy movie night as a family. You can even carve out me time or couples time, like one-on-one time every night of the week. Um, because all of them are equally important, in my opinion. So solo time, one-on-one time with your partner, and family time are all equally important. So it's based on what your preferences are. So you can have like, every night I have my me time from such and such to such and such. It doesn't have to be like this, like specific time, but this is just to give you an idea of like how we're creating a story, and then you'll be living this. Whatever routines that you enjoy, you keep describing yourself as having those. It could be an evening swim, it can be, a nightly skincare ritual. Whatever it is, you just are imagining that it's happening now, and your partner is there. So fill your day in with your ideal experiences. Who are you as this person who is married now? How is your lifestyle different? For me, if I was married now, I would likely not be working. I would likely not be working a 9 to 5. I would be traveling more. I would be on solo spa dates. I like to go to the spa a lot, and I would probably do that by myself because that's just me. But like, how are you spending your time, and how are you spending your time with your partner? Okay. I also like the idea of incorporating family traditions, or, couples traditions. I mean, couple is family. Just because it's just the two of you doesn't mean you're not family. So, but what are the traditions that you have now as a married couple? Like, my friend used to say that they would pray every night and as a family. So that's a tradition. You can have like monthly couples trips or monthly family trips. Like, what are the traditions that you have incorporated in your lifestyle now that you are married? And remember, we are creating our partners from scratch. From scratch. Even if you've already met them, even if they look a certain way, you are creating exactly what you want in this partner. Exactly what you want. Because if you think about this, just think about this. Your partner is only, they only show up based on the memory you have of them. Even if you just got off the phone with them, you have an idea of who this person is. You have an idea of, how they look, how they speak, how they talk, the things that they do, the things that they say, and the things that they won't do. But you can recreate all of that. It's all based on your current assumptions of who they are, and you can intentionally change those assumptions out, and you can watch that unfold. That's exactly how this works. If you like content like this, let me know by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.